Okay, so this is how you kind of get your content creation off the ground and you get started within YouTube or just content creation in general. So, firstly, what you're trying to do is just two things. When you start YouTube, you just need to work on two things. Firstly, the click-through rate, which is, if people actually click on your thumbnail and your title on the home screen. And then secondly, it's the retention of the video. So how long people watch through the video. Because think of it from YouTube's perspective. What do they want to promote? They want to promote stuff that keeps them on the platform for longer and people actually want to watch, which is through thumbnails. Keeps them on the platform for longer. How long do they watch your video? And, I can get into logistics. Longer videos generally, they have a higher chance of getting viral, but we're not going to get into that. It's probably for an advanced guide. But what you're trying to do, firstly, is, click-through rate and retention. But if you're a complete beginner, what you're trying to do is just get videos out. Everyone says this, right? Oh, just record, get something out. I don't think that's the main idea. You have to improve with every video you get out. So start off with this. Every time you make a new video, state the idea of the video first. What is the idea of the video? What do you want to talk about? So when I started this video, I'm like, okay, I want to talk about how a new person can get into YouTube. So I write that down, okay. How a new person get into YouTube. And then you think of thumbnails and titles for that. So if this is your first video, just think of a title for that. Now don't literally write how to start YouTube as a new YouTuber. No one's going to click on that. You have to make it clickable, but still you have to deliver on it. So in doing so, you kind of exaggerate the thumbnail, but then you over deliver in the video title, the intro. So think about it like this. If I wrote how to get 100K in 1 month, 100K viewers on YouTube in 1 month, people would want to click on that. But then I start talking about, you want to get started on YouTube, then, upload a video, get something out. No one's clicking on that. They're gone, bro. They're not watching. So what you want to do, you want to kind of get that thumbnail title down. And then within the intro of the video, literally repeat those words. Be like, this is how to make 100K a month or something, 100K views in a month. And if you do that, they'll be satisfied. They'll be like, oh yeah, like maybe this is actually what the video is about. It's not clickbait. They're not trying to bait me with some stupid title. So they actually want to continue watching. And that's how you get your first kind of minute or two of retention. Now, let's say your video is 10 minutes long, right? You recorded something on like how to make 100K a month. So the first intro should be something along the lines of, okay, this is how you exactly make 100K a month. And then you give some example. Be like, okay, this guy made 100K a month doing this, but how does it work? Something like that. It has to be a story. Throughout the entire video, what you're trying to do is tell a story. What you're trying to do is get them attracted to that story, because humans in general, and if you study psychology enough, you'll understand this. Humans in general love stories. They want to listen to people tell stories because our minds are kind of optimized for that. We love stories, stuff that keeps us hooked. That's why social media is really good, because it's good at, it has variable reward. Search that up. It's variable reward where they give you a hit of dopamine, and then for a bit, some of the posts are boring. You might have experienced this. Some of the posts are boring, the thumbnails are boring, and then you find that perfect thumbnail. Click on that. What you're doing, you're always in that search. You're always searching for something. So in a story, you're always searching for the answer. Always ask some kind of question at the intro. So generally, the thumbnail itself asks that question. So let's say, for example, we went with that title, how to make 100K in a month. They'll be like, oh, I can make 100K in a month. Be like something for how to make 100K in a month for beginners. And they'll be like, bro, I can make 100K in a month. Then they click on it, and then you satisfy their need. Like, this is how you can make 100K in a month, because this guy followed these exact principles and got his business running in 3 months, something like that. So once you kind of deliver that need, they'll be satisfied. They'll be like, oh, okay, let me continue watching. And then you hook them with the story. So the story was, oh, what is this guy doing for to make that 100K? What are the principles that kept them on? And you have to keep on hooking them throughout the video. So that first hook, and this is a very term I'm going to use a lot, hooks and then stories. You should be giving your hooks through those stories. So here's the hook, right? Hook is, this guy followed these 7 principles and got his business running in exactly 3 months and started making 100K. But how did he do it? The question is always the hook. But how did he do it? Makes you continue watching. For example, we have a workout video. Be like, this is Casey Viator. He gained 63 pounds of muscle, some insane number, in a month. And this is the exact routine he used, which we actually blurred out the routine, which is a advanced tactic. And then we say, but how did he do it? So people are interested, right? So they want to continue watching. And that video actually had one of our highest retentions so far. So far we have about 450 views. 70% of them watched through that entire intro, which is absolutely crazy. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to make this story as crazy as possible and make the payoff, why they're waiting, as crazy as possible. And in doing so, firstly, you get really good at conversations. Secondly, people want to watch your video for longer. So let's say you added one good story. So you're already at 1 minute retention from when you added, this is how you can make 100K in a month. You're already at 1 minute retention. Now you add the story, they have something they're looking forward to. And they're like, oh, let me continue watching, right? So they're like, okay, like what did he do to make 100K in a month? So they're watching through, and you kind of have to keep on rehooking them because they forget what they're watching for at times. So if you bombard them right away with the information, no one wants to continue watching. People say they want value right away. You have to make them feel like they're getting value without actually providing it in full. So you're still giving them value, don't get me wrong, but you're only giving about 20%. And then you tell them some kind of fact in between. This is filler space. You kind of fill it up so that the video is a bit longer, because longer videos, and I was going to get to this, right? Longer videos are generally promoted more on the algorithm. The algorithm likes them simply because it keeps people on the platform, YouTube, for longer. So if you have these things that work to keep them on, generally every time what you're trying to do, and this is just a cycle, intro is going to be completely edited. Every single second for the first minute should be like optimized for their retention. And the questions down to like the word should be optimized. And after that, you just keep on hooking them through stories, explanation, story, explanation. You can repeat that as many times as you want. The story should have a hook to it. So the story has a hook, and then you kind of bring in another story within that story, and then you satisfy the first story's payoff. So whatever the first story's hook was, whatever the question was, but how did he do it? How did he make 100K in a month? How did he gain 63 pounds in a month? So then, for example, for the workout video we made, we said, okay, he gained 63 pounds of muscle per month because they realized that you don't have to work out as hard. But why don't you have to work out as hard? Then we give the scientific explanation. And then we ask, after we explain, but why don't you have to work out that hard? We explain, so is there a way to replicate Casey Viator's results? So can we replicate him making 63 pounds in a month? And then we say, yes, he can. But there's a very specific way to do it. So now they have to continue watching all the way to the end. Do you see how every time it's like, oh, like I want to continue watching? This is a skill you have to practice through uploading videos. So, I just bombarded you with a bunch of information, but what you're trying to do, first off, when you start, try to learn a lot about titles. Try to learn a lot about stories. That is all you need to do. Look at other creators. Look at Mr. Beast especially. He's the master of thumbnails. Look at Iraq. Look at pretty much any video on any channel that's done extremely well that's not a trend, or you suspect it to not be a trend. For example, Mr. Beast Squid Game, he wrote a trend, right? So maybe if Squid Game wasn't as popular, it wouldn't have done as well. So if it seems like it's a normal thing, be like, okay, what about this is working? Why did 100 million people click on this Mr. Beast video? Why did 250 million people click on this video? Why did 7 million click on this video? Why is this video this person's most viewed? There's always something that's common amongst them. Now, I can tell you that right here, that it's literally just anticipation. It's something crazy, some crazy fact, some crazy, article, something that's like never seen before. And then they explain that within the intro, and then they lead into something completely different. Mini hooks in between. If you look at Mr. Beast's videos, he does one entire hook. For example, 456,000 Squid Game game or something like that. Real life Squid Game something, whatever his title was. So the payoff all the way at the end of the video is $456,000. Oh my gosh, someone's gonna win $456,000. You click. You get into it. He says, this is Squid Game, and here's $456,000, right? Right away, fulfill the title. And then he continues through the video. Mini challenges, mini hooks, mini stories. Again, back to that same concept. You hook them, and then you tell stories through that hook. The story, in his case, is challenges. He has these mini challenges, which has a story in and of itself. So what you're trying to do is literally just story hook, story hook, story hook, story hook. You just repeat that cycle for as long as needed, but don't overextend it, right? Do it for as long as needed. Make sure the stories are good. And, you don't have to edit completely the entire thing. Once you start out, just get good at storytelling, story thinking, and idea thinking. Because your title just has to be clickable. Your video just has to be watchable. That is literally all you have to do. And if you want to study people, there's some really good people on Twitter that offer YouTube advice. Paddy Galloway, so that's PADDY GALLOWAY. Sorry, I can't spell his name. And once you go to his followers and stuff, you'll see, okay, they'll say I grow YouTube channels. I help study retention. Read all that stuff. They have some very good knowledge that you can learn from. And yeah, that's literally all you need to do. And I explained it through, so I'll kind of summarize. You have to make good titles, good thumbnails, and make people stay on the video for longer. And to make them stay on the video for longer, firstly, fulfill the title and thumbnail within the first 30 seconds, first minute. Make sure that's hyper edited, that's perfect, down to the second. After that, you kind of taper off, but then you hook them. You hook them with some crazy question, be like, but how did he do it? But, God, but what made him do this? But X, but Y, right? But, some crazy question. Satisfy that through a story. And then the story itself raises another question. Over time, you'll get much better at this, and you start realizing, oh, this works, this doesn't work. This story was nice. This story actually kept me engaged. Right? So that's literally all you have to do. Okay, so these are kind of the advanced tactics. If you've already been doing YouTube for about a year or two-ish, these are the things that will kind of help push that few seconds of retention, because by now you realize how important retention is, how important it is to keep them until the end of the video. So the main idea of YouTube, which you probably know, get them to click, get them to watch. But there are tiny things that really matter once it comes down to that 5 or 6%, because that 5 or 6% could mean a lot more views. Think about it like this, right? If you right now have 10% click-through rate, and it's getting suggested to about 1 million people, only 100,000 people are clicking, right? But if you just update by 5 more percent, 5%, bro, literally 5%, the click-through rate, that's 50,000 more views right away. No, I'm getting that wrong. Oh yeah, 50,000 more views right away. So little percentages matter here, and what you're trying to optimize for is the smallest thing. So I'm not much great on thumbnails, but from what PJ told me, he's like the thumbnail master, bro. He crazy with it. he mentions a lot about simplifying the idea, and then kind of telling that idea through the thumbnail. So I might get it wrong here, but generally what you're trying to do is make it so that the thumbnail is some crazy idea. You can kind of see the idea, there's no way that's possible. But what the heck, bro? And that's kind of makes people click. And then there's also tiny things like contrast. So the contrast of the thumbnail should be extremely crazy. I'm not don't make it literally completely bright. That's just stupid. I mean say for example you should have contrasting colors. So for example, a contrasting color would be black and white, right? Because if you put black over white, it's much more visible. But if I just put white like that, you can barely see it. Black over white, without it, right? So if you have kind of opposing colors, it makes it so that this thumbnail is much more visible to others than it may be. It's a very small thing, but you realize that these small things really add up over time. So look for contrasting colors in the thumbnail. So for example, red and green are really good ones. Red stimulates the mind actually because it symbolizes blood. This is a very interesting fact, by the way. It symbolizes blood, so our brains are more reactive to it, which if you look at thumbnails on YouTube, study it closely, most of them are red. Most of them have some shade of red in it. And if they don't, they usually aren't the best viewed videos. They have red or green. And green usually means good stuff. It means nature, it means calm, it means peace, quiet. So if you have those two things in the same thumbnail, it'll really confuse the mind. They'll be like, bro, I gotta click what blood, or is it peace or nature? Like they don't think this consciously, of course, but it's subconscious. Really interesting. And you realize once you get to this point, what you're optimizing for is human psychology. You're optimizing for the biology of someone's brain. At some point, it's like social. It's like, okay, they want to click on this because they want to increase their grades, or because it's like their family isn't doing great, some stupid thing. But then it's like you start targeting their primal desires. If you see most of these videos on how to get girls, that's a very primal desire. Every single human from the start of human time has wanted that, to get girls, especially guys. So that they're more likely to click that stuff. So kind of make it so that it's more of a primal desire to know what's going on. And by now you've probably understood that stories kind of drive the entire video forward, and you need to kind of delay that. But there are small things that people usually add that gets maybe 2-3% of people to click off, which again, a lot of people in a grand context. So firstly, you don't get them to subscribe in a better way. So generally people say, oh, please subscribe, please help me, please, it'll be really nice if you subscribe. They off, bruh. They clicked off, they're gone. They're not watching your video. So you need to make it so that if you subscribe, I will host the largest pizza party in the entire world. I might subscribe, that's nice content. You got them to watch through it, and you got them to subscribe. And now they're looking forward to a video that you might release of the largest pizza party in the entire world. And this is transferable to almost every single niche. For example, my niche, self-improvement, would be something along the lines of, if we hit 5 million subscribers, I will get 5 million people to meditate with me and make a video on it. I'll get the population of India to meditate with me. For every subscriber I get one more person to meditate with me, and we all do it together for 20 minutes. Break the world record or something. I don't know. You see how it's transferable to every niche if you think about it. You just need the idea. And, at this point, you're kind of like, oh, I need to get good ideas. How can I get something that people would actually click on? And this is interesting, This is very subjective based on your niche. And by now you probably have some kind of ideal viewer. Whoever's viewing your videos, you probably have an idea of who it is. And if you don't, make one, bro, real quick. Who is it? Go down to the detail, be like, oh, they want girls, they're confident. Sorry, they're not confident, they're fat, they're losers, something like that. Socially isolated, something like that, right? So once you have these things down, you start understanding, okay, this person has very specific needs. Everybody will not click on your video, right? Keep that in mind. Everybody will not click on your video. And the next one will be, how you can make money from those people. But if you get enough people to click on your video, you pretty much can get a small contingent of people who will always watch your videos, no matter what you put out, simply because you've hyper-targeted them. Now, there's a balance between hyper-targeting and kind of, getting a broader range of people. So, think about it like this. There's a lot of people who want to get rich, but there's also a lot of Asian people who want to get rich. Asian's Guide to Mass Marketing. I don't know how you would make a video on that, but, good luck. But you get what I'm saying here. You niche down. But again, if you niche down too much, Asian 4'3", loser, male, socially isolated guide to making money. Come on, bro. That's just, that was an over-exaggeration, but you get what I'm talking about here. You can't niche it down too much. Or maybe how I make $27,000 per week as a student. That's a pretty good one. As a high school student. Even more specific, right? So, make it so that there's still a large group of people within that bracket. Makes them more likely to click. And you're able to get, more people, more viewers who they keep on coming back. And, yeah, that's just building an audience. That's just keeping your audience on your videos. A few other things that might work is, try to make it so that you have stronger hooks and stronger, little pieces in between that really get them to click. So, for example, on one of my videos, I made an absolutely garbage joke. I said eat like this. I was trying to show I eat like Indian people, if you eat like an Indian person, it's hard to gain muscle or something. But I was like, half the people who watched didn't get it, they skipped. I can see it drop. So the graph is like this. It's like I tell the joke, bro, am I joke's really that bad, bro? Come on. So You know, it's like you realize those little jokes. Be like, okay, be more specific. If I eat an Indian diet, if you're a Asian 5'4", right? Be specific with the jokes as well, and make sure again everything ties into that ideal viewer. Who is your ideal viewer? Make the videos for them. So yeah, these skills are kind of transferable across all of the niches. And what you're trying to learn right now is sales and marketing. That should be like your priority right now. And I'm not talking about this to sell something outside of YouTube. You're still selling within YouTube, but most of the stuff is very specific to YouTube as well. So let me try to make sense of that. What you're doing with your video is you're trying to sell it to people. You market through the thumbnail. You sell it through the video. Right? What's the point of a video? To provide value. You're trying to give them something that might help them. And every time they watch a second of your video, you're marketing it to, you're selling it to them. Every time someone sees your thumbnail and you see a title, you're trying to market to them. And that's why no one ever will have 100% click-through rate. Because only a small contingent of people actually need that video or that product or that service. So you see how selling a real product and selling a YouTube video is extremely similar. So think of this as selling and marketing. It's very similar. And if you market your video right, the group that you're aiming for will always click on it. And if you're marketing it right, the group that always wants to watch it will click on it. If you're selling it right, they will always watch through as much as they need to. Because you've made that ideal person. So the point here is just to get as specific as possible with the videos, with the ideas. The person that you're trying to sell to, what would they watch? What are they interested in? What other videos are they watching? You have all these metrics on YouTube. What is the average views per viewer? Here's another small thing. At the end of the video, you should try to market something that is one of your catalog of videos. So by now you should have quite a few videos, bro. You should have like 100, maybe like 175, something like that. And you should be marketing a video to them. They'll be like, oh, like, for example, we just made a recent video, dopamine detox. It's to free up your time, free up your mind, kind of make yourself free of all distractions. And we said, when you do this, and this we kind of said this implicitly and explicitly, we said, once you start this dopamine detox, you'll have a lot of free time, right? You'll have the ability to do anything you want. You might go back to those same bad habits that you're trying to quit, but you don't want that. And because you don't want that, you should replace them with good habits. And we have a video that tells you how you can optimize your muscle growth to get gains as quickly as possible. This is a good habit. Now, I messed up on that because I didn't say, you're learning from me. I make mistakes too. I didn't say that this video will help you replace those bad habits in case you want to go back to them. I should have said that, that's my bad, but it's a learning lesson, right? You're trying to give them something that they can look at or go to as kind of an extra solution to the solution you're already providing through that video. So what you're trying to do, you're trying to keep them as long as you can on YouTube itself. And once you do that, YouTube will be like, wow, like these guys really, really keeping everyone on the algorithm. The algorithm loves you. Promote more of your videos. Okay, this is helping this person click on the next video. That's their video as well. And then that video, the workout video, might be like, are you struggling with the diet? I don't know, something like that. Like, here's a diet video. How you can gain fat. I don't know, whatever people watch, bro. You get what I'm saying here, right? Try to loop them through. Try to go through your videos. Or at least now make new videos that kind of tie into your old ones. And don't do it just for the purpose of that. Just at the ending, be like, okay, for example, I make a video how to make 100K per month. Be like, now that you're getting ready to make 100K per month, you need a business plan. So here's a video I made on how you can make a business plan. And then you show them the video for the business plan. Now, of course, saying in more of a retention-y manner, like, okay, because now you're able to have a business plan, right? You have something that you can do. You have a way to make money. You need a way to execute on that action. So here's a video on how you can actually start taking action within your business. So you see how this kind of loops them, and this is called average views per viewer. You're trying to get them to watch as many views as possible on your channel so that the algorithm thinks, wow, like these guys doing really well. Let me push this to more people. You get more of your videos pushed to more of your audience. They keep on looping through off that. It's a self-feeding cycle. That's why success is exponential, because you start realizing that, oh, like these small things matter. Average views per viewer, average viewer duration, all that stuff. And now recently, we have shorts, and shorts are extremely huge in helping people grow. So I think Iraq, it was, he made like, for every 2 main videos he made about 1 short, which meant that, and his shorts were absolutely crazy. They were getting 40, 50 million views. I believe it was half of his entire views for 2021, which is just, that's crazy. But the idea here is that you should use shorts to kind of supplement your main videos. So how you can get shorts ideas, literally just take the intro of your main videos, which, you know, you've probably optimized by now, you've made it pretty good, and try to just make that even more optimized. Get straight into the story, get into some kind of crazy hook, make the title something crazy, make sure you show the words. You know, there's a lot of ways to make good shorts. But the idea is show the text right away. Like the text should be preset so that right when they see, like the first millisecond, the text should be there of what you're trying to talk about. So maybe you're like, write 63 pounds in a month, and then the question mark, and they'll be like, oh, what? So then they'll want to watch. You're trying to get their interest as fast as possible, because shorts is even more quicker than real videos, right? It's like, oh, next, oh, 60 pounds in a month. And then we start telling the story. Story keeps them hooked, keeps them engaged. They watch through. Your video gets promoted to millions of people. Show the text right away, and then get into a story right away, as fast as possible, with some crazy statistic, I don't know. So yeah, that's another thing. Shorts to supplement your videos, and then kind of take advantage of average views per viewer. And then there's also kind of interaction amongst the comments. So I would say for this, kind of get someone to comment for you on your channel. Generally, a virtual assistant will help you with this. So you tell them, okay, reply to these comments personalized. Every single comment, personally reply to them. And doing this, you build a loyal following. And this will help you in the next video. I'll explain how you can get like a loyal audience so that you can actually sell something to them, make a really good amount of money from them. And this is a business, this is entrepreneurship. So once you start building these audiences for the future, you'll start replying back. They'll be like, oh yeah, you know, like I'm struggling, I need help, how can I do this? This is when you start building businesses. And, you know, I won't get into that. But what you can do, you can sell your time. So you can do coaching calls for like $2,000 per hour. If you have 100,000, 500,000, 1 million subs, and for the self-improvement niche specifically, or maybe even other ones, like cooking ones, you can do like archery, I don't even know, whatever people do. Okay, $2,000 per hour. I'll be here to try and guide you, to coach you, to help you with whatever you need. You may not think your expertise is great enough for this, but trust me, bro, people are willing to pay. If they know that you provide value through that 99% of value you've provided, all the videos you made that are great, they've kept them hooked, they'll be like, oh yeah, this guy provides value. They're going to buy your course. They're going to buy what you put out. I'll talk about this in the next one. This is an entire chapter. But yeah, so that average views per viewer, shorts to supplement your videos. Shorts are a huge thing right now. I think they also made community posts, which should definitely help you, you know, get off the ground, get somewhere with something. So generally when we think of businesses, we think of rich people. We think of people who try to charge the most money for whatever service or value or product they're providing. But generally that's not the idea. So let's say, for example, you wanted to start a content creation business, which is kind of what I'm doing right now, basically. The idea is to provide 99% of your value for absolutely free. I mean, literally 99%. This is why most people get demotivated, because they don't get the income, they don't get any results from when they start out. And this is really interesting. The majority of people drop out, and the ones who continue on start understanding that entrepreneurship is a part of it. I'll get to that in a minute. So here's the idea with content creation. 99% of it's free. So everything, let's say you're on YouTube, every single video just provides straight value, facts straight hard to the camera. Don't expect anything in return. Do that for a year. And most people probably clicked off because I said that. Do that for a year. But yeah, do it for a year, and then start thinking of that 1% of products, 1% of things that you can charge for an absurd amount of money. So in this case, for YouTubers at least, what a lot of them do is make some kind of course, or make some kind of service, or some kind of product that the viewer, their likely viewer, would buy. Now, by now, you should have at least, at the minimum, 10,000 people ready to watch your videos if you do it right. And I'll make something on how to make videos appropriately too. But generally, once you make these videos high quality enough, it'll reach a very large audience of people. There is a market out there for the people that you're trying to target, which you should be targeting people. Again, I'll get to that in a video. But once you have that audience, that main audience, then you should be able to start charging them for something that they're likely to buy. So what is this individual most likely to buy? So let's say, for example, I have a brown guy. He's fat, he's overweight, he's like 5'6", he's a loser. All of that stuff, right? No social skills, no confidence, nothing. What is something that he would want? So one of the things I mentioned was that he's fat and he's Asian. Combine those two things. Asian Guide to Building Muscle. That's a product. And if you have enough people on your side, which again, I said you should have 10,000 to at least 100,000 people ready to watch your content, then at least one out of every 1,000 people would buy. Now let's say you charge this course at $1,097. That means that every single time a person buys it, let's say you have 100,000 people, you're pretty much making $197,000 from each person. Again, this is only if one out of every 1,000 people buy, which is actually very little chances. But think about the amount of people you have. If you have 100,000, that's $197,000 straight away in a year. If you have 1 million people, that's almost 10 times that, which is about $1 million, something like that. I'm not doing the math right, but something like that. And that's only for one product. Only 1% of your thing's making you money. And if you have 1 million people, you're also making money from YouTube. YouTube gives you quite a big revenue if you're getting at least 1 million viewers per video, which is pretty rare, but it's possible. So if you're making a million views per video, that's about, for example, let's put like a number on it, maybe like $5,000 per million views. Now, so you upload 4 of these videos in a month. Straight away, $20,000 per month. On top of that, you have this course that you're providing. Now, what's the third thing you can provide? Genuinely, you want to provide something that is a part of some affiliate marketing part. Now, you always hear affiliate marketing sounds like a scam. What you're trying to do is you're trying to promote someone else's product for them, and you make money off of the referrals that you send to them. So, for example, a lot of people mention Skillshare. What Skillshare does is you get their link, you kind of post it in the description, be like, oh, in the description I made this course. So you're allowed to make courses on their website, but they have a premium charge thing. It's kind of like YouTube, but you have to pay to actually watch the videos. And every time someone clicks on your link, it says, okay, here's my link, click on this link, and it'll take you straight to Skillshare. What they're doing is that's an affiliate marketing tactic. The main company, Skillshare, pays you for every time someone clicks on that link and gets you straight to their website. And for Skillshare, I believe it's about $10, which is an absolutely crazy amount. So Skillshare also has a higher conversion rate, which means that more people actually click on it. So let's say this is one in about 700. And let's say, again, you have 100,000 viewers. So you're going to get about, if it's 1 out of every 700 people, that's about, let's say 150 people. So right away, 150 times 10, it's about $1,500. Actually, that's like an underestimate, bro. It's probably like 1 out of every 100 people who click on the link. So if we have that, I gotta do math here, bro. 10. So if you have 100,000 people, that's about $10,000 per month. If 1 out of every 100 people clicks on that affiliate link, $100,000 just from people clicking on a link and you referring it. Again, this is assuming you have an audience of 100,000, you have 1 million viewers. If you have 1 million, that's even more crazier. That's probably much more than that. So think about this. Course, $197,000. YouTube, probably around $20,000 per month, which is about yearly $240,000. So you're already at $500K per year, $400K. And then you have this, right? Which is, again, if it's 100,000 per month, which again, it's that might be an underestimate, then you're making about 1.7 million just from that audience. So do you see how much of a role an audience kind of provides? And the goal with every single business is to have someone to market to. If you specify down to a singular person, you have an idea of who you're selling to, they are more likely to buy. This is why it's extremely important to build that ideal market person. Who are you selling to? What is your main goal for people? So right now, I'm selling this video to someone. I'm selling this to myself who wanted to make videos like a year ago. Wanted to be like, oh, like let me make some money. Right? Let me start. How do I start though? I just got straight into it, but if I had this, I would definitely watch this video all the way through. I'm always selling to someone because life is all about sales. It's all about marketing. And here's the difference. People say sales, people kind of mix up sales and marketing. They're completely different things. Marketing is getting people to the product. It's keeping them on the ad. It's getting them to click on the ad. Right? Sales is converting that attention, that raw attention that you got into a sale, into money, into something that they can purchase. So once you market well enough, you have a huge contingent of people who are kind of watching your stuff. You marketed very well. Marketers is what we need. You don't need to sell. Selling most of the time comes down to psychology. Marketing comes down to getting people to see and be like, oh, wow, that's something I need. It's more of a social issue rather than a biological issue. So once you have this kind of group of, you're making a bunch of money, you have to put that somewhere as well. And this is you're probably 3-4 years down in your journey by now. It takes about a year to get maybe 5,000, 10,000 people. It takes about 2 years to hit around 100,000. And in 3 years, you can get around 1 million. Or maybe it's even more, it's greater than that. I don't know the exact numbers. It could take 2 years to get to 1 million, right? It depends on you. If you have the right tools, you can get pretty much anywhere. And here's the thing with most people, their beliefs about businesses are messed up. Most of the time when we see a business, we think, okay, we have to do all of the work. I have to be the one editing the videos, recording the videos, getting the videos out. I have to be the one making the courses, getting all the ads, getting all the affiliate links. You don't have to do all of it. And this is the issue with family business, why most of them fail. Because once they go into that thing, it's like only this family can make the food. Only this family. They don't share the recipe to anyone else. They don't kind of do it to anyone. They don't give it to anyone else. So think about it like this. Microsoft had a chip that they invented a really long time ago. It was like a microchip processing chip for like computers. And, they were kind of making it in the dark. And then after about 6 years, think about this. They put 6 years into developing that chip. It was the Intel i7 chip. It was actually in every single computer now that you probably have. That's Windows. They were manufacturing this chip for 6 years in the dark. Nobody knew about it. Nobody knew anything about how they're doing it. But then once they released it to the public, all of a sudden every single company, all of their competition had access to what they were making. So if they had access to this thing, no one else could really catch up to them. No one could be like, oh, like let me like copy this. Let me see how I can get to that. Because if you're kind of entering their game, you're entering Microsoft's game, which they've spent 6 years in and you're just getting started on. Would you really want to compete in that? Not really. So what you're trying to do is make a very unique product like Microsoft did and then mass sell it through outsourcing. And that's the main idea. Outsource everything. When people say time is money, it's real. Your time shouldn't be filled up with busy work. It should be filled up with the work that is unique to you. In a family business, you might argue, oh, this recipe is unique to us, but can someone else replicate it? Yes. No one can replicate your personality. No one can replicate the way I talk. You can try, but you won't get to it, bro. So let's kind of like break down what you would outsource. So what does this mean? Can you outsource your editing? Yes. You can teach someone how you edit. Can you outsource your business tasks? Yes, you can outsource your business tasks. Can you outsource your personal course? No, you cannot. Because you're the one who provides that value in your manner. If you're selling to a specific audience, you know that audience better than anyone else. So you have these things that only are unique to you, and you have these things that are unique to others. Sorry, not unique at all. And if anyone can get a degree on it, this is kind of like the main idea. If anyone can get a degree on it, outsource it. Make someone else do it. Make some stupid person out. Pay them like $4 an hour to do it in the Philippines. You can sign up for a lot of people who do that work for you. You'd be surprised, bro. They work for extremely cheap. Maybe not even $4 an hour. $2 is like, and that's a lot for them. Just kind of scary, honestly. But yeah, take advantage of it. They're kind of helping them out. My bad, I'm sick. So, yeah. Main idea, outsource your work. You should not be doing every single thing. Build an audience, and then sell products to that audience once you build it. And if you want to look for that audience, actually, matter of fact, I'll make another video on that. But yeah, that's pretty much what you do after you start your content creation